Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to the first literacy lesson of the week. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend and you're fresh and you're ready to go. Today we've got a new story that we're going to be working on all week. It's called Pandora's Box, and it's something called an ancient myth, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it today. So, fingers crossed I can share my screen so I can show you what we're getting up to. Aha, there we go. Right, so it is the 1st of February, and we're going to be using some conjunctions today in our writing to get cracking on that story Pandora's Box, and I'm going to read it for you in just a second. So these are all the bits and bobs we're getting up to today. We're going to read some common exception words, then we're going to spell something called high frequency words. I wonder if any of you have heard of those before. They're those words that we write all the time and we need to make sure we know how to spell them. Then we're going to read the story. Then we're going to use those conjunctions, because and when. Oh, when. We never use that one that much, so that's why we're going to use it today. And then today our little activity is to write some sentences. That's all the bits you're going to need. Double check you've got all of those with you, please, especially that literacy brain. Okay, right, let's get cracking then. I'm going to do my turn, your turn. Okay, so first one, improve. Improve. Well done, super stuff. Move. Move. Super stuff. Prove. Prove. They all sound quite the same, don't they? Move, improve, and prove. And we can see that they've all got the same endings. That's going to help us with our spelling. They all have an O-V-E on the end. After. After. People. People. I. This is the I. I. That's different from a capital letter I. Right. These are the words that we write lots of times, but sometimes we make little mistakes on them because we write them just so much. So this is the first one, so I'm going to read them out loud. So you might need to pause me now to go and get your whiteboard and pen. Okay, right, everyone ready? Listening ears then. So the first word that I'd like you to spell is they. They. Well done. Okay, next one, ready? The next one is have. Have. Well done. Okay, the next one is what? What? The next one is there. There. And the last one is were. Were. Now, some of those are our year 1 common exception words, so hopefully we know them, but they always pop up, so we do need to make sure we know how to spell them. So I'm going to quickly whiz through them again, and then I'm going to show you the real spellings. So first one is they, then it's have, what, there, were. Okay, so I'm going to show you the real spellings now. There they are. So you might want to pause the screen and tick or cross. Hopefully you've all got 5 out of 5. So have another look. Give me a pause if you need to. And mark yourselves out of 5. Once you've done it, wipe your board clean for me. I'm going to whiz all through that. Lovely. Okay, so today, how do brilliant writers use conjunctions to extend sentences? That's what we're focusing on. And we're going to be listening to the story. I'm going to read you a story called Pandora's Box. And it's an ancient myth, which means it's from a very long time ago. And they normally involve fantasy creatures and gods. So they believe that there was lots of gods that created bits and bobs. And we are going to hear a few about them. One that's in there is Zeus today. And he is apparently the god of water, I think. I need to double check that. But so I've just put some pictures on the screen if you want to have a read of those as well. Okay, right. Oh, let's have a look at that picture. Wow, looks as though Some scary bits are coming out of that box. Okay, right, let's read and find out. The myth of Pandora's box. Are you nosy? Do you like secrets? Have you ever done something that you've been warned not to, just to find out a secret? All through time, there have been stories about people being told not to open doors, cupboards, gates, and all sorts of things. And in many of the stories, the people just didn't listen. One person who did not listen is Pandora. Her story is from ancient Greece, where her nosiness changed the world forever. Let's find out. Not hundreds, but thousands of years ago, in ancient Greece, there lived two brothers called Epimetheus? Oh, it's a tricky word. And Prometheus. Although they lived in a world where the gods were in charge, they liked nothing more than to annoy the gods. One day, Zeus, a particularly powerful god, decided to teach them a lesson. Zeus ordered the gods to create a beautiful woman. Her name was Pandora, and she was to marry Epimetheus. As a wedding present, Zeus gave Pandora a beautiful box, but there was one special condition. She was never to open it. All day, Pandora's husband Epimetheus was out working. All day, she could not stop think. She could think. Oh, sorry, I've said it wrong. All day, all she could think about was what was in the box. Pandora could not understand why Zeus would give her a box that she could not open. It made no sense to her. Pandora was bored and lonely, and her curiosity became unbearable. That means she really, really wanted to open the box. One day, when she was sure that Epimetheus was out annoying the gods, Pandora searched for the key to open the box. I know it's here somewhere, she muttered to herself as she opened cupboards and drawers. There it was, high on a shelf, in their bedroom. With shaking hands, Pandora slid the key into the lock and turned it. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and slowly, with trembling hands, opened the lid of the box, imagining what could be inside. Rubies as red as the blazing sunset, jewel-encrusted gowns, piles of gold coins. But there were no coins or jewelry, no gowns or gems, for all at once, every evil and spite, every sadness and misery flew out. Like a swarm of insects, they fled the house and infested the earth with heartache and sorrow. Oh my goodness. She opened the box and all the bad things in the world came out. That's not good. Let's see if the ending's any better. Pandora slammed the lid shut and turned the key. What have I done? She sobbed, holding her head in her hands. Sometime later, Pandora noticed a fluttering sound coming from the box, as if something was trapped inside. Terrified, she pressed her ear to the box. Let me out, a small voice pleaded gently. I mean you no harm. Once again, with shaking hands, Pandora unlocked the box and opened the lid. A beautiful butterfly of hope fluttered out of the box. For, although Pandora had released pain and suffering into the world, she had also allowed hope to follow them. Wow, that's the end of our story. Oh my goodness me. Well, good job, Pandora opened the box again to let that butterfly of hope out and about into our world. That means that when we're feeling sad, we always know that we're going to feel happy after, because that little butterfly is going to help us. I like the ending. Right, let's get on with a bit of writing now, everyone, then. So how do brilliant writers use our conjunctions? Now, we're going to look at two conjunctions, because and when, today. So the first one is because, and it says, we use because to give a reason. Tim was feeling hungry because he had not eaten any breakfast that morning. I always feel hungry when I don't eat my breakfast either. And we use it because to always give a reason and explain something, okay? And the other one is when. So we use when to explain when something happens. That's nice and easy. Pandora was horrified when the bad feelings escaped from the box. So we know that she was feeling really, really upset and worried and scared when the bad feelings came out. Okay, that's what happened because of then. That's when we use our when. Okay, so today we're going to be using when and because to describe what's happened in our story. We want to make it as exciting as possible, so I've put on there to use some adjectives, please, and you're really good at using those now. Now, in the black writing on your screen, I've done my own little one to help you out, so have a good read of it. It says, Zeus, remember that was the god, Zeus was furious with the two brothers and decided to play a trick on them, because they would not stop annoying the gods. So Zeus was that god that made Pandora and gave her that bad box to make sure that there was some revenge on the brothers because they wouldn't stop being annoying. Okay, so here is your activity today. You're going to be writing sentences about what's happened in the story. Any sentences that you'd like, but I'd please try and get those when and becauses in. So if you're doing a one chili challenge, I'd like a sentence that has a when and a sentence that has a because. So just 2 sentences today. 3 sentences if you're a 2 chili challenge, please, and 2 for because and 1 for when. Now, if you're a 3 chili challenge, then you can do 5 sentences. 4 or 5 would be brilliant. And it says the choice is yours, but you must use those conjunctions. They need to be in there, please. So every sentence, definitely check if it's got a when or a because. Okay, and I've just put in the pink box down the bottom. We use because to give a reason. We use when to describe when something happened. So like I said earlier, Pandora was horrified when the bad feelings came out into the world. Okay, I've also put on there to maybe use your whiteboard beforehand, maybe have a practice. Alrighty, so give me a pause now, please, and you're going to get on with your writing. Okay, then hopefully everyone's done a really good job and they've done at least a few sentences that have definitely got a because and they've definitely got a when in there. So now's that time to check it back. Have you included all those things on the bubbles? Full stops, capital letters, really important. And then conjunctions, please. We're only looking for because and when today. And have you got any exciting adjectives in there? So pause me again and check back that work. Okay, this is what we're getting on with tomorrow then. Oh, and that little picture says, maybe just a peek. Oh dear, we know now that she shouldn't have done that. So it says, tomorrow we'll be drawing a story map of the story to help with our writing on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that. And up next, there's no reading session today, so it's just a Read, Write, Ink session if you like it. Now, if you can't find it, there is always a link on the school website. And you could always go on Oxford Owl to have a look, and you could always practice those common exception words, okay? So the choice is yours. Right then, I'm going to hopefully stop sharing my screen, if I can make it work. There we go. And I'll see you again tomorrow, everyone. See you later.